One.
Happy New Year, everyone. Although this year has gotten off to a crazy start, I am optimistic that 2022 will turn around. And I know, I've seen our numbers starting to come down, and hopefully that will continue. We've had quite a few cases sprinkled throughout our communities. And I just want to continue to thank all of you for taking all precautions, protecting yourself, and being as careful as you possibly can. I never dreamed we'd be dealing with this pandemic for this long, and you have all done just a tremendous job balancing it all. I want to especially thank all of our staff at our long-term care communities. Our frontline staff have really taken the hit when we've been short-staffed. So thank you so much for helping out each other and filling in. And a very special thank you to Maria and Catherine for juggling so much and still staying positive and open. You guys are true troopers. Thank you. I'm really especially pleased at how much everyone is pitching in to help out each other. From the middle of October through middle of January, we have had 36 different staff and 2 board members help out at our 2 assisted living communities. Thank you so much. And although we're not through this yet, we need you to continue to sign up. We are optimistic that by February, our staffing will get back in place and we won't have to keep asking you so often. But we do have the next couple of weeks that we are still short staffed. So we'd really appreciate if you could sign up. And especially if you've done it before, it's really great for those who know what they're doing to sign up again and help us out. We really appreciate that. Bailey is doing a great job on recruitment. She's spending most of her time and attention on that and these staffing shortages. She's created those job flyers and they have the QR codes on them. So if you have not printed those out yet and posted them around town, please do so. That is helping. We are also still offering a $100 staff referral bonus as well. And many of our positions have sign-on bonuses. We still do find that the direct ask that you make specifically to friends, family, is the best way to get staff on board. It's amazing when you ask somebody directly how times they might not even thought about it, but if you ask them, they'll consider it. And right now we're working with a ton of students. We are working with the CEDO on their LNA training. In fact, we just had 9 LNA students on site for a week at 3 Cathedral Square. And I have special thanks to Sarah and Eugen for stepping in to supervise those students during that week. It was at the very last moment their supervisor tested positive for COVID. So I really appreciate the 2 of you stepping in to help and make that a success. And all the RAs who helped and had those students shadow them for the week, we actually logged 218 hours of staff time supporting these students, which we can actually now bill our Department of Labor intern grant for. So that's an added bonus. And these efforts are paying off. We have already hired 1 of the students and we are interviewing another. We're also working with Essex Tech. We actually have 16 students in total who will be on site for 2 weeks in February at Memory Care and 3 Cathedral. And they're going to be learning about a variety of roles from cooking and programming to caregiving. They'll each partner with a different staff each day of the week that they're there. We're also partnering with Burlington Tech. We have 5 students who will be at 3 Cathedral Square over the weeks in late February to early March, again, to learn and support our staff. And, we are optimistic that these students will pick up per diem shifts with us, especially after they work with our Rockstar staff. We are also placing UVM nursing students from January 18th through April 24th in public health course. So some of these students will be doing group projects and others will be completing service hours. Really excited about that. We have just received word on 2 UVM public health interns, and they're starting either this week or next, who will be on site 10 hours a week through May. One will be at our Juniper House location with Pilar, and the other one will be with Jason, our SASH wellness nurse. We also have public health science program, which is kind of a very informal placement now through March. That's really just to get students involved with nonprofits and those that are impacted by public health. And we have 2 Essex Tech students who plan to shadow with our maintenance techs, thanks to Dan and Nick going to give them a presentation. And we've just had 2 interns reach out to us with interest for an administrative assistant position as well as an activity position, which we're going to be moving forward with both on as well. So we have also UVM Public Health, another 8 interns for the second semester coming to help with SASH coordinators and our wellness nursing. So I know a lot of students, it's really, really exciting, but I know it can at times feel like additional work. Mentoring students and interns is a great way to get the schools in our area to recognize Cathedral Square and create workforce pipelines for their graduates. So I want to thank all of you who have agreed to work with these interns and show them how valuable and fulfilling the work we do is. So thank you very much for that. And I do cross my fingers that some of these will turn out to be good placements for us. And speaking of staffing, I wanted to let everyone know that we have made a decision to not pursue Our Lady of Providence, pursue purchasing that property. Although this is disappointing in the big picture, we could not take on another long-term care community while we are still struggling with our own staffing woes. As I've said from the beginning, we would never jeopardize our own operations to take on something else. So I gave Our Lady of Providence notice yesterday, and they are starting to inform their residents and staff. And we are open to other long-term care communities in the future, but in the middle of a pandemic and staffing crisis, it's just not the time. As Jim has said, it's the right property at the wrong time. So I just wanted to be sure you are all aware of that, and we'll be moving forward, with just supporting that community as much as we can from afar, but not purchasing it. I also wanted to mention that our new SASH director, Liz Genge, will start on February 7th. She comes to us with over 20 years of experience working for Downstreet, and she has overseen the SASH program there since its inception 10 years ago at Downstreet. We're very excited to have her join the exec staff team. But until then, I wanted to mention, give a quick SASH update, and that is that we are moving forward with a pilot with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Vermont to bring SASH services to up to 300 Medicare Advantage plan recipients in Chittenden County. We hope to start this pilot in early April, and it's just a really exciting endeavor that we've actually been talking about literally since I've become CEO. We've been talking with Blue Cross Blue Shield, but in the last year and a half, we've been actively talking with them on a weekly basis about putting this into action. So it's very exciting. The Blues are located across the nation, so this could be really valuable for us in replicating SASH in the future. So I think those are the basic updates I had for now. So I will, with that, turn it over to Cindy. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Kim. And welcome everyone to the staff meeting. And I wanted to welcome Janelle Mandigo to our team. She started in October as our associate community developer, and we have been keeping Janelle busy. So if you get a chance to meet them soon, that would be great. Whitney Hill, and let's see, Joanne's going to show slides for me. We're really excited to say that we're 90% complete on the Whitney Hill renovations in Williston. Our final phase 8 apartments moved out this week. They'll come back in March when their renovations are complete. And the returning residents are really enjoying their renovated homes. Next slide, please. This is the community room. We were able to add a fireplace and air conditioning to upgrade the community room for the residents there. And we've all told invested over $3.5 million in upgrading this 44-unit property. We hope to be complete in mid-March, which we're on schedule to do with some remaining spring work. And then Bayview Crossing is next. Slide, please. This is a really cold picture, as you can tell, but we're making great progress. We're about 25% complete on our 30-unit senior housing community in South Hero. The large portion that you see with the green sheeting on the outside is the 30 units. And then there's another section to the right that's the community room and the Cider office space. And we're on schedule to complete in September. Knock on wood, we want everyone to stay healthy that's working there. We have over 80 people on our inquiry list. We did send out an informational flyer in December. If you or anyone you know is interested in this community as a potential home for the future, please be in touch and we can add you to the inquiry list or add your person that you know. And then next slide. This is the second on the right hand side is the second floor unit that has a really nice lake view, thus the name Bayview Crossing. So yeah, we're making great progress there. Kudos to all the construction workers out in frigid temperatures doing their thing. And then next slide, we're making progress on Kelly's Field 2. So Kelly's Field 1 are the top two buildings shown on this site plan. And then the bottom building to the right is our new proposed 24 units on developable land at that location. We're making really good progress. We've gotten sketch plan approval, which is step 1 in our permit process. The town is very supportive. The local Affordable Housing Committee is very supportive. And we've met with residents at Kelly's Field there several times to get their input and to describe our plans. And we've gotten a lot of support from them. We've selected J.A. Morrissey Construction Company to be our builder. And we're hoping to start construction in October this year if we get all our funding on schedule. It's very competitive, so we might be planning for next spring construction, but we're really hoping this fall because we desperately need this new housing. The vacancy rate in Chittenden County is 0.08%, which is a really crazy low vacancy rate, which really speaks to the need for more housing. So that's it from me, and I'm going to turn it over to our wonderful Director of Operations, Catherine Titus. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Hi, everyone. Happy 2022. I'm so happy to share some exciting things that are happening across Cathedral Square, despite this continued impact of COVID. So I want to start by acknowledging our brand new OCM department. Since our last meeting, Colleen has moved to the manager of memory care position and is just doing an amazing job for the Allenbrook community. Katie Moore has jumped into the OCM manager position, and in juggling the training in that role, she has also been doing 3 other positions within the department. Since October, almost the entire department transitioned into new roles, and we've welcomed new team members in the vacant positions that were created. It's been really tough the last 4 months, and I just want to acknowledge and appreciate everyone's patience and understanding and support as training is underway throughout the team. Everybody's really rallied to try and get everything that needs to happen on an ongoing basis done. And going into February, Katie, the team, and I are very optimistic that things are going to start to normalize and really get back on track. So then switching gears to a different note, some of you may know that Molly and Sabina worked together last year to apply for a HUD grant that would allow for a 3-year home modification project to support homeowners in rural areas like Jericho, Underhill, Richmond, Huntington, Bolton, and Hinesburg. We were also able to incorporate Williston Woods into the scope of this grant, knowing that the need they have for support in these areas is pretty great. Staffing for the project happened at the end of last year, and the team that's managing this amazing work is in full swing. The team consists of Carolyn Gibson, Evan Hall, and Deborah Sharp, and they've been working with homeowners to assess accessibility and safety needs. Joanne's going to help me out by sharing some photos of the work that they've been able to complete already. So handrails here have been installed on an entrance. And then on the next slide, you'll see that there are brand new stairs in this person's garage entrance. The stairs completely fell apart when Evan started the repairs on them. So without a doubt, this work prevented a potential accident for the residents of this home. The next set of pictures is another before and after of a home that's in Williston Woods, where Evan installed a wheelchair ramp. The resident here was in rehab and unable to return home unless she had this ramp installed. She didn't have the ability to pay for it, so it's really the perfect example of the impact this project will have on helping people stay in their home safely. To date, there's been 6 homes either finished or in progress, and the intent is to serve 108 homes by the end of the 3 years. So it's super exciting. We're also really excited about a recent announcement from the governor of a new program making $1 million in funding available to subsidize the cost of purchasing and installing at-home electric vehicle charging stations for multi-unit rental housing. So we've had many residents express a desire for this kind of environmental awareness from Cathedral Square and movement forward in this area specifically. We've seen great success with the installation of an electric vehicle and a charger in collaboration with CarShare Vermont at CSSL. And so we appreciate the states recognizing the need to make electric vehicle charging available to residents in our low-income communities, especially if Vermont wants to continue to be a leader in electric vehicle adoption. We are exploring this opportunity in the hopes that we can make it work for those communities in our portfolio that are eligible. And lastly, I want to give a brief update on our transition from bulk Comcast contracts to more affordable and resident-specific options for cable and internet. For over 10 years, we've offered residents in our communities a discounted cable package by purchasing bulk cable through Comcast. When I started at Cathedral Square, we were charging residents $18 a month for TV. Over the years, Comcast has raised their prices and the effect has trickled down to our residents. As costs to them increase, we've also found that a lot of residents are opting out of cable through our bulk offer and utilizing streaming services and just other much more affordable options. So in the bulk agreements, we have to pay for all apartments in a building and regardless of whether the resident is taking the service. So with contracts renewing this year, we would again be forced to raise the price to residents in order to cover the cost of the contracts, which doesn't feel right anymore. With federal internet accessibility programs, our residents can get internet for as little as $10 a month and then add streaming services for much more affordable rates than what we were offering through Comcast. I just want to take this time to thank all the SASH coordinators who are preparing for this transition in their communities and really encouraging residents to evaluate preferences so they can move forward with the most available option to them. And in some instances, this may still be Comcast. Elm Place was the first community to end this contract, and to say that there were bumps along the way is an understatement. I really appreciate that Paul Hawkins pushed through the challenges and really supported the residents in navigating this change. He also shared everything he was learning through the experience so that the rest of our SASH coordinators and communities can benefit. Change is really hard and many residents are not fully understanding why we're going in this direction. So that's why I thought it would be really helpful to share this background with all of you. If you run into questions from residents about it, please direct them to the coordinator and certainly feel free to reach out to myself or any of the team leaders. We have been talking about Comcast pretty much every week for a year and things keep changing. So we're just still working out all the kinks. So appreciate everybody's support and work through all of this and everything else that we continue to do to support our residents and have these wonderful communities. And on that note, I will hand it off to Carmel for an HR update. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Hello, everybody. And we are excited to announce that we have a full team in our HR department and would wanted to update everybody on the roles. And so Hannah Pike is our payroll specialist. And if employees have any questions regarding W-2s, paychecks, payroll deductions, time cards, EvoClock, and advanced HR, you would be reaching out to Hannah. Managers who are looking for payroll reports for items such as the grants or looking for new codes to add for properties to be set up in our payroll system, those would be going to Hannah. Bailey Sherwin is our HR coordinator. Bailey is focused on our recruiting efforts, onboarding our new employees, benefits, Relias, just to name a few. She's also running the regular weekly rapid PCR testing on Wednesdays. She co-chairs that with Catherine. And then she's also the person to contact for the engine tests. So people who are just kind of wanting to check to make sure they're okay, they just need to contact her, and then she'll meet you outside if you have symptoms. If you don't have symptoms, if you have symptoms, we're asking people to go to their doctors first. They shouldn't be coming into work. But if you have, you might have been possibly with somebody you want to get tested, then you'd be reaching out to to Hannah for those antigen tests. We're thrilled to announce that we have Anjana Mangar, who will be assisting HR during her internship here at CSC. She joined us this week and she will be here until the end of April. So the news for HR is that Bailey had sent out an email last week in regards to W-2. So we're asking employees to keep an eye out for those. You should be receiving those, if not already, this week. We also ask that you utilize your advanced HR, which the website is really for employees that has all of your pay stubs out there for every year that you've been with Cathedral Square, as well as your W-2s in the past. You also have the options to make changes to your address if you moved, if you want to change your W-4 status with the state or federal, and also to view your CTO balances. Those are all out on Advanced HR. If you have not accessed the Advanced HR website, we ask that you reach out to Hannah. She would need to be sending you a link. You have 24 hours to set yourself up. If you miss that deadline, then you just need to reach back out to Hannah and she'll make sure we get you the email to set you up. The next thing we want to make note of is that employees' pay increases went into effect on Monday, January 2nd. This was reflected in last week's payroll. An email went out to employees yesterday with the payroll deduction agreement. And this form that was sent out is really kind of goes through what employees have elected for deductions or for benefits. So you have out there, it lists your dental, your vision, and your health insurance, as well as your health savings account. And it shows what you've elected to have deducted in your payroll, your paycheck. It also provides you with what the company pays on your behalf. So that's for your health, dental, and vision, or not vision, but your HSA. So it shows the contributions that the company does. It also shows you what you've elected to do for your 403B retirement. And it also shows like the dates that you were eligible. Keep in mind, if you were a long timer who's been here more than, say 15 years, that won't be reflective on there just because that's when we actually, started with pay data. It'll also have your flexible spending account. It'll also list items miscellaneous items such as the gym membership. If you are doing a donation to Cathedral Square or United Way, those will all be on there. We're asking employees to please review those, sign them, and send them back to HR. We need those by Monday of next week, please. Lastly, Kim already talked about that. So I'm now going to pass this on to Molly.
Fantastic. Am I on? Okay, super. All right. So just for those that are new to Cathedral Square, my name is Molly Dugan. I'm Director of Policy and Strategic Initiatives here. And I'm going to fill everyone in on three things primarily during my few minutes here. First off will be some legislative updates and plans for the current session that just started in early January. Secondly, I'm going to share some exciting news on our social media front. And then lastly, I'm going to share some updates and reminders from the Anti-Racism Committee, of which I serve on for our organization. So number one, legislative updates. So why is this important? Why do you care? Well, if you remember from your government and civics classes in middle or high school, the legislative branch is called the purse of our three-branch government, meaning the legislature holds the money. And we want money. We need money for our organization's mission to provide high-quality housing and SASH to our residents, and for us to provide the most excellent care to our residents at our two assisted living communities. We have set priorities for our work with the legislature in order to be effective in advocating for funding money that we need to do our work and to serve our residents and the broader community, in the way we know it needs to be done. Joanne, can you share the slide of our legislative priorities? Super. So first off, the first priority is regarding the very difficult workforce challenges that we've been facing as an organization over the past few years. Kim talked quite a bit about these. And you all know about this. And it's not just our sector, our sector of affordable housing and long-term care and the economy that is struggling, to find high quality staff. It's restaurants, it's lodging, it's schools, it's the local fire departments and the police departments. I mean, you all know this. I, however, would argue that our sector, the care sector, is unique in that if we don't have adequate staffing levels of care providers in long-term care, such as our wonderful assisted living communities, it's not only a major issue for our residents that we care for and for the staff that are there trying to get it all done, but it impacts the family members who may have to be challenged in their ability to go to their jobs if they suddenly have to care for their mom and dad or their aunt or uncle or their brother or sister, whoever it is. So, it's the same argument that childcare providers can and should make. So specifically for this year, we're asking for the legislature to once again increase the state's Medicaid reimbursement rate. And that is what pays for the care that our assisted living staff provide for our residents. We were able to get a roughly 3% increase last year, which was great. Got us up to like a little over $43 per day. But guess what? We need a whole lot more than that. And we need regular increases to happen every year. So we are, as of this year, part of a group of long-term care and aging services providers that have come together to really push the legislature and the governor to substantially increase these rates. And we're calling ourselves the Long-Term Care Crisis Coalition, trying to be really clear. So what we're asking for is not the 3% that the governor put in the 23 budget. We're asking for a 10% increase in Medicaid reimbursement. So that's one of the things I'll be really fighting hard for over this legislative session. Our second legislative priority is around housing, the housing supply crisis that Cindy talked about in her remarks. All of you know and have seen the sales pricing of houses, have increased substantially. And what that does is it really exacerbates, the already scant supply of high quality affordable housing. Cindy mentioned the really, really low vacancy rate in rental housing. So we have a lot we're contending with here. Good news is that the governor has put substantial federal investments into housing for this next fiscal year, 2023, about 50 million, which is huge. Don't get me wrong. And he's also put in just over 11 million in state dollars, what we call general fund. And those are the dollars that your taxes that you pay within the state go to. So we are going to be looking to increase the state funding side of the equation because what we actually should be getting in state dollars is about 35 million from the state funds rather than the 11 million. So, and why this is important is because when the federal dollars stop coming, which they will, we need to have the funds so that Cindy and her amazing team can continue developing the amazing housing that we do to help get us out of this affordable housing crisis. And we're also, I just want to make note that we're also clear that age-specific housing is incredibly important and an important component to be funded. We know that when older adults who want to downsize and simplify their lives move into our housing and get the SASH program, they open up housing units and usually affordable home ownership units. So we are really part of the solution. The last legislative priority is around SASH. And this is really our focus on maintaining our funding to administer the program statewide. The SASH administrative team within Cathedral Square does an amazing job. There's a reason that the SASH program is so impactful and such a proven program, and it doesn't happen by accident. The SASH admin team is hard at work every day to make sure that the programs across the state that are delivered by 21 different housing organizations are doing the program the way it's intended and therefore getting the results for our participants that are intended. So we want to make sure that funding is still there. We also want to expand SASH. We want more housing sites for older adults and those with disabilities to have the SASH program, and we want to serve people of all ages. So we're really pushing for a SASH for all model. All right, next thing I wanted to update you guys on was just about social media. So you can change the slide now, Joanne. So I personally have a love-hate relationship with social media, but I do realize that it can really help spread the news about the great work we do at Cathedral Square. And what that does is has really a ripple effect of increasing external support and recognition. And I'm really happy to report that Janelle Mendigo, our associate community developer, who works with Cindy and Greg, is going to do some moonlighting with our communications division and take the lead on getting social media posts out for us. So she's really implementing a social media plan that a Champlain College intern put together for us last year. And one of those recommendations was to really streamline our presence, online. So, and to really have much more frequent and regular posts. So one of the things that Janelle has already done is create an Instagram account and post there. There'll be some simultaneous posts there between Instagram and Facebook. We took down our Twitter account. It just wasn't active. So we're going to be sending out an email soon, letting you all know that when you have, photos or stories or announcements you think would be important for us to get out in our social media presence, for you to send those to Janelle. So you'll hear more about that. And then lastly, I just wanted to report about the Anti-Racism Committee. I'm happy to let you all know that we have a new resident from Jerry Hill who's serving on the committee. We continue to welcome new members. Ideally, we'd have a staff member from every department within Cathedral Square represented. So that's not the case yet. So please, if you're interested, we'd love to have you. A lot going on based on the feedback we've gotten from you all through our staff survey we did, I think it was late fall. We're working to bring a speaker series kind of training in the spring and summer, when these will be some short educational offerings from local organizations that work to support a diverse and equitable community. We also have our first book group discussion that's going to be on February 16th at noon. If you want to read the book for that, which is called The Hate You Give, just reach out to me. We still have books available. And then lastly, I just want to thank those who've been participating in the monthly lunch and learns that have been facilitated beautifully by Sharon Snow. That have been coming to those discussions have been great. And we really appreciate, the learning community that we've had through those. So thank you very much. That's it for me. And I'm going to turn it over to April now.
Hi, everyone. I'm here on behalf of the Wellness Committee just to share some updates with you. Joanne's going to share the slides when she has a chance. And we'll go on to the second slide, please. So during 2021, we continued to offer a combination of in-person and virtual events. We offered 8 virtual events. The beauty of that is we have been able to record them. So it allows people who can't attend the live event to still participate and get, we were doing stickers last year, so get their stickers. We did have 5 in-person events, and we offered 3 step challenges and 3 bingos, and we did our yearly food drive. And we had 70 people earn the first reward, 64 earn the second reward, and 50 earn the third reward, and 52 earn the 4th reward. And we had 41 people who completed the entire game board. So really great participation. And we just would also like to acknowledge our wellness ambassadors who helped to spread the word on our wellness program. And we're really grateful for their help. Next slide, please. Here you see a list of this year's wellness ambassadors. I'm not going to go through them all, but if you have any questions about who your point person is, please refer to this or reach out to the committee and we'll connect you. I do want to highlight that we have some new ambassadors this year. We have Andy, who's helping out with the maintenance department. We have Jolynn, who's helping out with the SASH admin team, Janelle with development, and Mindy with memory care. So thank you for stepping in to fill those vacancies. And thank you for those who continue to serve as ambassadors. Next slide, please. Here you see a list of your wellness committee. And thank you to Hannah Pike and Jennifer Jones, who are new to the committee. We really appreciate all of your help. Next slide, please. Okay, I feel like we need a drum roll here because this is what we've all been waiting for. This is this year's wellness game board. This is the front. We're just so excited. We've been working on this for months now, so it's a really big deal for us to get this out to you. And just a big thank you to Deb Boughton, who took on helping with the design and layout of this. This year's theme is building health. And instead of stickers, we're going to be giving out Lego kits each quarter, just for you to see, have a visual representation of what you're doing for your wellness. Like in past year, like last year, actually, we're going to have, in order to win a prize, you'll need to do 5 healthy habits. And on the front of this, it goes into some examples of things that you can do to earn Legos. We're going to continue to offer monthly events and quarterly challenges. And so our first sticker-worthy event is actually this staff meeting. So just by watching this, you're going to get actually not a sticker, but a Lego. And yeah, we're really excited about this year's program and hope that you will participate. Next slide, please. Okay, so we're all about the prizes. That's really what motivates some of us, including myself, to participate in the wellness program. And what you're seeing here is some beautiful models modeling this year's first prize. And it's a Cathedral Square rain jacket. It's rainproof and windproof. And if you want to see it in person, you can stop by OCM when you're at Grandway, and Casey has some examples of these jackets. They're really nice. And everyone that completes the first quadrant will receive one. And then the second, third, and fourth quadrant will be gift certificates. And we may be able to offer a grand prize again, depending on our funds. Next slide, please. So speaking of funding, we are getting $20,000 again this year from Cigna to fund the wellness program. And we set aside about $8,000 for the Motivate Me program, and that leaves $12,000 for the events and prizes and such. Next slide, please. Okay, so what is Motivate Me? Motivate Me is a wellness incentive program that is through Cigna. And so in order to be eligible to participate in that program, you do need to be getting the Cigna insurance through Cathedral Square. And it rewards you for doing healthy activities, things that you might already be doing, like getting dental care or getting your regular preventative care. There are some additional ways that you can get rewards for completing assessments online or doing wellness programming. And next slide, please. In order to participate in this program, you can go on to mycigna.com. And here's a sort of a screenshot. And there's a wellness tab. You can see it's underlined in orange here. And when you're in there, it kind of gives you some options of how to earn these incentives. And once you've completed them, like if you know that you've gone to get dental care or you've had, say, a mammogram or some preventative care, you will need to go back into mycigna.com to redeem the gift card. So you get gift cards. And next slide, please. There's a lot of choices. I earned, I think, $100 in gift cards last year by doing things that I would do normally. It was great. I put it towards getting a new pair of boots, which was awesome. So, you know, you can really get some great rewards by participating in this program. And if you do not get the Cigna through Cathedral Square, we do offer a $25 reward for those folks that get preventative care. And we put that, I'll put that in this month's next newsletter so that you can see the form that you need to fill out. I would like to just, every month we do send out a newsletter with a lot of information. And I'm just really encouraging you all to read the newsletter and also read the updates from your ambassador. This is your wellness program, and we really want you to benefit from it and just make sure that you're staying informed about what we're doing. And so newsletters and calendar invites will come from me and Carmel. And then if you have any questions about the wellness program or for the wellness committee, please send those to the balance email, and you can find that right in Outlook. And that's all. And I'm going to turn it back to Carmel.
Hi there. So I am speaking on behalf of the volunteer committee. The volunteer committee is pleased to announce that in spite of COVID, you, our amazing staff, came through. In total, 83 staff volunteered for a total of 276.50 hours. And 55 used all 4 of their volunteer hours. Those who are able to use all 4 hours will be receiving an email from the committee in the next few weeks, and all employees will be receiving an email with an upcoming opportunities. Remember, the clock reset at January 1 of 2022. So everybody who is benefit eligible would be starting with 4 volunteer hours. And happy volunteering. And now I will be turning it over to Kim.
All right, thank you, Carmel. So this is always the best part of the meeting as far as I'm concerned. It's about our anniversary. So it's so fun to have folks who have been with us we're celebrating 5 and 10 years this year. So it's just so cool. So I'm going to start with our first person is Eugen Anak, and she has been with us for 5 years. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that. And I know that Maria says she's our fashionista, and she has been part of assisted living this entire time. And yet it feels like just yesterday that she joined our team. She is a welcoming face for any and all who enter our community. Her soft tone, gentle heart, and kind nature keeps our residents safe and staff supported during the evening shift. Throughout these 5 years, families and friends often share how grateful they are to have their loved ones cared for by Eugen. And we can all agree with this. As the evening nurse supervisor, Eugen has to tackle many tasks without the direct support of the administrative team. But she does so with confidence and grace, and she makes problem solving look easy. We are all extremely grateful to have Eugen on our team, and we look forward to the next 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 years with her. Congratulations, Eugen.
Yay! Woohoo!
Next up, we're celebrating Deb Boughton's 5 years with Cathedral Square. Given Deb's deep connections to so many staff and residents at Cathedral Square, it's hard to believe she is just celebrating 5 years with us. Deb jumped right in with both feet, contributing in so many ways to get the word out about our mission and our accomplishments. Deb was integral to our 40th anniversary event as well as many, many ribbon cuttings and open houses. She has updated our marketing materials. In fact, according to Molly, she prevented some near-death experiences by updating our conference display materials. If you knew that threefold thing, you would know what she was talking about there. Importantly, Deb has helped us stay connected as a staff community by providing staff newsletters and highlighting staff and residents and outreach materials. Deb is a masterful writer and has created some of our most profound annual reports and jazzed up many otherwise boring PowerPoint presentations with clear and impactful words and images. From website updates to manual rewrites to job posting writing, Deb works with all divisions and departments here at Cathedral Square, making connections all along the way. She even learned the skill of a videographer to make a movie that provided a snapshot into our residents' lives and the impact that Cathedral Square has had for them. Thank you, Deb, for all you have accomplished at Cathedral Square over the past 5 years. You have made our organization better known and understood, which ultimately improves the lives of all of our residents. Thank you and congratulations.
Hey, Deb.
All right, next up, we have 10-year anniversary. So first we have Beth Alpert. She started with us as a volunteer coordinator and then added the SASH coordination role just a couple years later, which has now been in that 8 years. And she's been on Sabina's team for the past 7 of those 8 years. This past year, Beth has moved 46 Whitney Hill households to a hotel for up to 6 weeks each in 8 phases over the past year. An undertaking that could test even the best of us, but Beth took on this project like she does everything else, organized, logical, compassionate, and with just the right dose of humor to make it through. Property renovations are not easy, and typically we can expect irate calls from residents who might not agree with the process, but not with Beth. Instead, we received handwritten thank you notes from the residents thanking her for her dedication and care. Beth will see any project through and she will make it look like it was nothing. Over the last almost 2 years of COVID, she's organized an army of volunteers, both staff and outside volunteers, to assist our residents with the tasks that were complicated by COVID. She did so by being creative and thinking outside of the box. Beth also kept our bus program, and often the bus itself, alive for our residents for many years. She spent many mornings driving it to the dealership to get it fixed and asking anybody who was listening for a ride to get back to her own car. Beth has great energy and focus. She's hardworking, dedicated, organized, and dependable. She's always willing to go above and beyond for our residents and her coworkers. She sees what needs to get done and simply does it. She's always thoughtful with her opinion and generous with her praise. Thank you, Beth, for an amazing 10 years, and here's to many, many more. Congratulations, Beth.
Hey,
Hey,
Beth.
Beth.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
So also 10 years we have celebrating is Susan Schmidt. Susan has worked for Cathedral Square for the 10 years, started with us as a per diem and then has worked at multiple properties, but currently works for 9 hours at the Cathedral Square and supports a community camp. Susan is a skilled, compassionate wellness nurse. She is graceful, gentle, warm, and accepting and exceptionally effective in working with people with emotional challenges and struggles. Her gentle and thoughtful approach is comforting to residents and staff alike. Susan exemplifies the power of the relationship in the process of healing and moving towards wellness. In her gentle, quiet manner, Susan is able to convey caring and compassion as well as clinical expertise. She's always willing to collaborate and work with the team to find ways to best support the participants. Susan is funny, stylish, and an integral part of the SASH team. We're so very fortunate to have her experience and grace, and she goes above and beyond what the job requires. She's highly competent and well-regarded nurse, and Cathedral Square is a better, healthier place because she is here. Thank you, Susan, for your hard work, dedication, and magical way of working with people. Congratulations, Susan.
Hey, Susan.
Thank you.
And last up, but absolutely not least, is Gail Thompson. So Gail has been working for Cathedral Square as a per diem for the past 10 years after retiring. But Gail has been with Cathedral Square for almost 20 years. This April will mark 20 years. Gail actually started with us at 3 Cathedral Square as an administrative assistant, then an assistant property manager, and then a property manager. And then once she retired 10 years ago, she agreed to come back and help us out. And boy, do we depend on her in so many ways. She's able to switch from doing recertifications and OCM to accounts payable and finance to covering the front desk and even maintenance calls. She is an integral part of the OCM team. She's really a jack of all trades. She knows multiple OCM roles. She can help out, like I said, with maintenance, finance, and more. Gail is great at taking super detailed notes so she can jump in and help whenever and wherever she is needed. She has literally gotten calls, and I've been one of those, first thing in the morning to come down and help within the hour. And she's always so willing. Most importantly, Gail is wonderful to talk to. She can strike up a conversation with anyone and easily fits right in wherever she goes. She is an extremely talented woman and has a huge heart. It is so wonderful to have somebody who can be so flexible and adaptable. We would be lost without you, Gail. Thank goodness you never really retired. Thank you, Gail, for all these years, and here's hoping for many, many more. Congratulations, Gail.
Thanks, Gail.
And I just want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this and be a part of our amazing team. I think it's so easy for all of us to just get caught up in our own little bubbles, especially during the middle of a pandemic. But together, you can just hear all the amazing work that we are doing individually and together. It's just incredible and makes me so, so proud. So thank you all. And here's to a wonderful 2022. Thank you.